All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the podcast. And today I want to start it off by presenting a special guest. He's one of my closest friends from Cal State Long Beach. He's a music ed major and he's a recent graduate. And please welcome Jesus Sanchez. Hey, what's up, Jesus?
Hey man, hey. Thanks for having me here. All right, this is gonna be fun, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean, just thanks for being here, man.
No problem.
I know we haven't seen each other for quite a while since all this crazy stuff happened.
Yeah, since COVID hit, man.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's nice seeing you, man.
Nice seeing you too, man. Nice seeing you too. At least through this way, at least.
True. Yeah. Hey, at least we get be safe. Being all that.
Well, yeah. Keep the virus from spreading.
Yeah. All right, hey man. So let's talk about your experience. I know you graduated last year. I know it's not like your typical way of celebrating a celebration like that, especially.
I don't know.
Yeah. But talk about your experience in Long Beach, man.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess you could say anybody who gets into the college experience right away. I mean, it's a little bit nerve-wracking because you work hard to get there, and then once you're there, it's like you feel that kind of little rumble in your belly, like, oh crap, I'm surrounded by all these possibly amazing musicians, and then you find out, yep, they are amazing musicians. But it's all just about growth, and yeah, that's what I experienced too. I experienced that I grew a lot, learned from teachers and friends alike, and overall, I dug the environment. I thought it was cool, I mean, like anything, there's ups and downs, but that's all part of life, So I personally enjoyed my time in Long Beach, good, bad, all good experience.
Yeah, I remember. So we both entered the fall of 2018, right?
That's right.
And yeah, I still remember that first class. The first morning class we had.
Conducting
class, yeah. I missed that class, man.
I do too, Stressful as heck, but...
Oh, yeah.
Worth
it. It was a totally new environment for me, and I bet for you too, because I think we both came from a transfer from a community college, no?
Yeah, we both did. I believe you were LACC, I was PCC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it was weird. The environment, weird in the sense that it was different. Not in a bad way, but it was for me a community college. At least the friends I had there, they were good people. Yeah, great musicians. At the time, I would say they were better than me.
But you're not alone, man.
Yeah. But I mean, in both situations, in a community college, at least for me, and then on a state university, I met a lot of great people, man. People that helped me, and people that I learned from. I don't know, is that relatable to you?
Honestly, yeah, I could kind of see where you're going. You see, in community college, well, first of all, I really think people should stop really considering community college as like a stigma and stuff. It's pretty beneficial. First of all, not just for your cash, save some money in your pocket, but just overall going into the big level 4-year guys, But yeah, you see, I kind of get that experience that you were talking about. I feel that a lot of the stuff that I learned in community college actually helped out transferring over to Cal State Long Beach. You see, there were a lot of subjects in the theory and musicianship, piano. The core courses,
Mm-hmm.
the core courses that I felt like, what? I remember this from community college. Oh, what do you know? This is a whole lot easier now. Oh, thank you, community college.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not something you wanna, just because it says community college, don't undermine it. It helps.
Yeah, that's sure. That stigma of people, this preconceived notion of people thinking about oh, community college. You have this way of thinking.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I spent 2 years in LACC, And in those 2 years, I finished the GE requirements and then the requirements from the actual music department. And yeah, I'm doing those kind of hand in hand. Me expanding my, my views or expanding my horizons of learning. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you get what I'm saying? What I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you, man. Well, first off, lucky you. Not afraid to admit, I spent a little bit more time in community college. 5.
Yeah.
5 years. Partially because of that, I wasn't actually first like a music major when I started. I was actually more in audio production, this kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, but once I started doing that, like I realized like I don't know anything about music theory besides what, playing a 1-4-5 kind of thing, like. So I kind of, like you were saying, like expand the horizons. Actually, once I got my certification in that program, I went on to become an actual music major, and learned a lot from there, which, like stated earlier, helped out a lot in transferring over to Cal State Long Beach.
Did all your units transfer to? Not all of them, right?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah, I know that happened to me too, but
Yeah, but mostly the GEs were kind of said, just a few like capstones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much, and then a couple music courses too. I kind of wish the music history could have transferred a bit, but
Yeah, I mean, it all ended kind of well for you too, man. I mean, you just graduated, and I mean, I think that consistency really counts, man. You're staying in school, and after finding a job, I know right now a lot of people are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you doing about that, man? What's your kind of way of going about things right now?
Well, I mean, I'm just keeping an open eye out, I'm going online through all the, career online sites, the career sites online that I'm looking through. Indeed, Glassdoor, Monster, and just people that I know that I could hopefully network with, because that's another big portion of college. It's not just getting those good grades and stuff, and building all that repertoire up, it's about getting to know people, connecting, like, hey man, like, oh my god, I could help you out here someday, that kind of stuff. So definitely connect with people. So I'm gonna reach out to people that I know who could possibly have positions, whether it's like, some kind of, for now, like some kind of teaching position, some kind of audio position. Honestly, just something that has to do with music, performing, all that stuff. Take a little step at a time.
Yeah, I hear that, man. And I think that's a good advice for, let's say, for a high school student who's trying to enroll into a 4-year university or even a community college. Just connecting with people.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's a big. It will turn out good for you in the end. You will know people, like-minded people like you, and study the same field that you're studying, and yeah, you'll make connections, man. That's good. Thank you for bringing that up, man, because I know some high schoolers, so maybe they're trying to find tips and tricks or on how to kind of succeed in college life. And what about I know in the past you gave lessons, right? Guitar lessons?
Yeah, I've done that before in the past, like through some of the connections I've done, I've done little teaching positions. My first one was a volunteer position at the Midnight Mission, teaching homeless people guitar. Great experience there. Through that, I met this amazing violinist, Vijay Gupta. He had a little program where I had a student. That was a great one. But then, I got accepted into Cal State Long Beach, and it's like a lot of that stuff. Pretty much, I kind of had to. I had to leave it, the teaching positions, that little group I was in. I had to focus solely on school. But yeah, I mean, I still know these people, and you gotta remember that people that you never know. Just hit them up, show them stuff that you've been doing, even stuff like this. Every little thing helps out,
I forgot who told me that it was one of my I want to say one of my trumpet teachers told me that, hey, whatever you do, try to be nice to everyone, because you never know what's gonna happen, later in the future. But yeah, man. Let's talk about your YouTube channel, man. I really like your YouTube channel. I recently watched the soul video that you created. It was nice. And I really like the history about jazz, and then the actual lesson in the video, in the movie, I mean. And talk about that, man.
Yeah, so you see, basically, I love films and I love music. So I thought, why not? Let's just bring our passions together, because, that's what everybody who goes on, like, who's trying to be on YouTube and all that stuff, whether it's just for fun or you're trying to get professional, it's mostly just for fun. It's just like sharing their passions, Plus, it also helped that there's this great class in CSULB, music and film. I think we both took that class. Yeah, I love that class, man, because I was the only guy who took notes.
Oh yeah, you're sitting in front and all that. Yeah, man.
I know.
That's
but
good,
yeah, thank you. But yeah, that class got me thinking, like, man, I want to talk about films and music too. So yeah, I just take films, watch them, analyze the music, how do they play with each other, what type of role they serve, and I did that a little bit with Soul. Pardon me, the latest Pixar Disney flick that just came out. And also just the lesson overall I really enjoyed in Soul. So if you guys want to hear me talk about that, go ahead, check it out. Hopefully there's a little link here at the end, maybe in the description.
I'll post the link in the description, and yeah, right now we're talking about it. What inspired you to create those videos, man?
Honestly, just being on YouTube, Cause let's see here. So there's a lot of great musicians on YouTube and stuff. But before I even started watching those people, I was watching them. I was actually watching some Let's Players.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see, I'm not really much of a gamer person, but there was something about these Let's Players, like Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye. It's like, I'm not a gamer, but damn it, pardon me, I love these personalities, They make you laugh, they make you feel like, it's almost like you're making a new friend, even though they're like, who knows how far away from you. And, and they're basically just doing what they like to do, and like, getting something out of it, like, I just thought that was really cool, and I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and try it. Like, maybe I won't become a freaking huge YouTube star. Probably not. I don't care. I just want to do this, because it's really all about just being out there and like doing something that you like to do,
Content creators, YouTubers, like you too, man. How are you? Has this affected you in any way, man? The quarantine. Do you shoot like any special shots outside of the skylines or whatever?
Well, it kind of has its own, during the quarantine specifically, it kind of has its ups and downs, I mean, there's not much to do, to go outside, so I guess less distractions, so more time to, like, create content here, practice, create. Did I say create twice? Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, and then, when I do go outside, it tends to be a little bit quieter, so, less of a hassle having to worry about any noise coming from, like, I don't know, like a really fast sounding car, vroom, all that type of stuff. So that's kind of what's made it easier.
Nice.
Yeah, but so far, if anything, quarantine kind of also played a role in it. Like, I got nothing else to do, so I might as well make some kind of effort. Well, not effort, but I make some kind of, like, constructive use of my free time here when I'm not practicing or doing something else. Let's create. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, that's the way of thinking, man. I mean, you have all the time in the world now. Might as well at least try to learn something new.
Exactly.
And, I know some people that actually started a couple of YouTube channels. I know
fellow CSULB guys.
Yeah. I mean, and have you? Yeah. Have you used this? I guess new skill of you? I know you have a background of making content, uh, video content, but have you used it like in assignments, projects, and some of your schoolwork?
Yeah, I have actually. You see, part about being, I mean, it's not enough to just be a performer, but also like, it's also not just enough to be a great performer or educator too. You gotta be, if you want to, part of it now is being like very tech savvy and very like just media savvy in general. And especially, with situations like this, the global pandemic has just taught us the whole benefits of like having those skills, being able to record simple videos that could, demonstrate scales or how to put up how to assemble an instrument. You remember that assignment from one of our classes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So that's it's taught me that these skills are definitely essential for anybody in any profession, really.
Yeah, and then that adaptation, being able to adapt to it, an online kind of setting, and I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of difficult for me in the beginning. Let's say April around when this whole
It
thing
was for
started.
everybody, man.
Yeah, yeah, but there are, especially young people are really adaptable and really knowledgeable about this tech savvy stuff, online stuff. But there are some people that really struggle with getting to know how to run like let's say a Zoom meeting or stuff like that. But
Especially mentors and stuff that are from an older generation.
yeah, and I'm just help. And how do you think this will kind of affect when we go back to the natural ways of living? Let's say this whole thing that we learn about online. How do you think?
Wow. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some people who, once they're back outside, they'll realize, like, maybe I do prefer this. I mean, there's probably gonna be some of those people. But also, if anything, it's teaching everybody that, like, you just gotta be tech savvy with this, just in case of any situations. Or even right now, it's happening too. You see a lot of instructors, us being musicians, you gotta give lessons and stuff. A lot of instructors are more worldly available now because it's like, hey, like for example, there's this amazing guitarist that I know of from Italy, who's like, I may be over here in this country, but let's Zoom and let's have a lesson. So it's incredible stuff like that we gotta keep in mind. This stuff has been around for a bit now, but if anything, this year has taught us to really open our eyes and notice that it's there, so let's use it.
Yeah, use it to our advantage and kind of bring out that creative side of everyone, And yeah, and that kind of was a main topic of mine, learning the previous semester, kind of being creative with whatever you have, and that kind of last year, and maybe this year too. It's gonna show who is who. Once again, what kind of videos? I know you made the. Let's go back to the soul video you made about the movie, and I understand you made another video about the blue whale. Let's talk about that, man.
Yeah. So you see, I mean, that's one rule about doing this stuff here. If you're gonna be on this kind of media platform, you gotta have content. Just whatever comes to mind, whatever ideas you have, write them down, test them down, get them, and just upload them. It'll work or it won't, But yeah, that's what I plan to do. Do more content. But yeah, you see, that video was basically for any jazz fans out there, cats you call them. Especially if you live in LA, you were probably saddened by the news that the Blue Whale closed down due to the pandemic. I mean, they solely relied on live shows and people coming in to watch them and also buy drinks and just have a nice time. Once we heard that closed down, it was like, no. So yeah, yeah, it was sad, but I also kind of told myself, you know what, this is a great chance to make a video to I guess explore the part of the music community here in Los Angeles, So yeah, I went out, just did a few things, talked a little bit about the area of Little Tokyo and talk about what the blue whale, my experience with it. I've seen teachers perform there, friends perform there. I know you've performed there, you've mentioned before, so,
Yeah.
I mean, that must have sucked too, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you guys want to check that out, there'll be a link to that, I guess, too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and yeah, I really like that video, man. And just it brings back a lot of memories going back to seeing the blue whale. But yeah, it's also sad at the same time.
You got to go backstage, bro.
Oh yeah.
Not everyone can say that.
Yeah, that was. I want to say that was my last year in LACC. We performed a jazz piece, a fusion piece, with a little ensemble. I would say a combo, but yeah. It was great times. And then let's talk about what kind of advice would you give to let's say to younger musicians on how to get creative with whatever you have. Like let's say you have a laptop, and boom, what can you do with a laptop?
There's a lot of things you could do with a laptop. I mean, just look at all these EDM artists. I mean, Daft Punk, deadmau. Like, come on, check these guys out. And also just keep in mind that, well, this is kind of the future, man. When people say, you've probably heard this before, record deals, the music industry, dead. It's kind of true. Because with new platforms like this, I mean, it's kind of like people don't need to rely on, like, getting a great hit from, like, under this big record label. Now, honestly, if you get the opportunity to get one of those, then, like, go for it, like, it's not bad. But it's just like everybody's becoming so much more independent, like more self-reliant, and there's so much knowledge out there now, on like how to record and how to video edit and all that stuff. And it's just like if you're not on top of this stuff, you're gonna be left behind. So like said before, like any ideas that you have, whether they're music related, film related, I mean cooking related, it doesn't matter. I guess specifically we're talking about music, Yeah. But if you like to talk about music, write it down, create it, do that, but also like get it up there, like using this stuff, using these platforms, YouTube, TikTok, even Instagram, that's where it is. That's where people are pretty much getting the newest hits and stuff, all the newest artists. That's where it's coming from,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then if there's any people out there really trying to get into music, there's a GarageBand. There's what's the other one? Soundtrap. These are like apps, or let's say programs that really help you and kind of get you in creating music. I think in Soundtrap you could even make a song out of anything. And that's what we did actually in one of my classes last semester. We just collaborated with other students, and we actually came up with actually cool songs, and songs that can maybe be actual songs that you can listen to. And
anything can be a song, man. Music's all around you.
Yeah, and that's true. And then and that was all on Soundtrap, and then GarageBand too. And you could do that all by yourself too. And it's just a matter of just getting that creative side of you. But yeah, man, for you, how's it been in the early stages of this pandemic? Like let's say March. How did you transition from a person to person kind of way of doing things into online setting?
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, it just sucked because I love being, like there with my friends and stuff, and like, like actually having an interaction, actually being able to hear like, hey, check out this new piece I'm working on and stuff, actually being in an ensemble and actually performing. All that stuff was hard because it's not the same. Now you see, I mean, again, it was still kind of cool because for some of the students who have never had this type of experience recording themselves, they've had somebody else do it for them. Certain ensembles got a chance to go ahead and like learn how to record themselves through mics, how to like use an interface like we have here, how to use GarageBand. So I found that to be pretty useful because that taught a lot of students to, well, like mentioned before, be very tech savvy with this stuff. But yeah, personally, I felt on a personal level, I hated that transition of not being able to be there and actually, like, let's be honest, us as musicians, we feed off our own energy.
Right.
So not being there next to each other and just having to hear back what we recorded, it's not the same. So that personally for me, I did not enjoy. But oh well. But the overall transition of, like, the technological aspect of it, it wasn't too bad, and even then, it was still somewhat of a. I got to have somewhat of a teaching experience, for like people who had questions about mics and whatnot and all that. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, missing that person-to-person interaction, actually making music together. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the part we're all missing. Yeah. And
Yeah.
what kind of music do you play, man? I know you play jazz. Tell the people what kind of music do you play, and what kind of instruments.
Well, yeah. I mean, being music majors, man, we gotta be, savvy and, like, I guess, what do you call them? The institutionalized education, whatever genres, jazz and classical. So I like to do classical guitar, I like to do jazz guitar. But before that, I mean, like, I like all types of music. I grew up with rock and roll and all that stuff. Early rock to heavy metal. I love a lot of I love a lot of pop stuff too. Just anything really, blues, even some country. To be honest, I know everybody, like, hates on country, but there's some good stuff out there too of country.
Nice. So you're a diverse listener and a player too, musician.
Yeah, you just gotta be. You can't just focus on one genre or any of that. You'll be missing out.
That's true, and it kind of opens doors for you too. Like,
Yeah, it does. And that this is one thing I kind of noticed that I don't want to say it annoys me, but it's like, just a little bit of, like, the music school campus experience. It's like you tend to see, like, for example, string players hanging out with string players, or like band people with band people, jazz people with jazz people. People don't really tend to intertwine. Like, dang it, if you're a classical violinist, go ahead and talk to the jazz bassist or something. They could all learn something from each other. So again, just be open-minded and don't be afraid to, like, talk to people outside of your comfort zone. Like, oh, I don't know this much about, I don't know, like, Beethoven, but screw it, I could learn.
sure, yeah. You gotta have that open, like you said, open mindset of, trying to be a learner of most things. Try to be even a lifelong learner.
Exactly. Growth mindset.
There you go, man. Growth mindset. And yeah, I mean, the first semester I was there in Long Beach, I entered as a classical player, so I auditioned with the Haydn Trumpet Concerto. I played the first movement, but even that first week of school, I just hanged out with everyone, man. The jazz
Good.
players, some of the trumpet players, and the sax players, and I ended up meeting a bunch of people, man. I mean, we're all students, and that's why I kind of took it, coming in there. I'm like, oh, everyone's just here to learn, and for me, I could learn from everyone, so that's how I was kind of thinking about it. But yeah, man, that's right. You were saying having an open mindset, trying to have everything available to you, not just staying in one kind of direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
I mean,
that's deep,
exactly,
right?
man. Exactly. I
And
mean, oh, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say, like, one story, like, I challenged myself. I picked up the saxophone and I joined band. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
You were there.
that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, but we managed. So, people, don't be afraid. Break out of your comfort zone. Give a challenge to yourself once in a while.
Yeah. Have you ever had any doubt in your music learning? Like, for me, I want to say the first year of community college, I'm like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to study music? And I always loved music, to be honest. And I guess that kind of idea of me not continuing music education or just music in general is just from the people around me. Were like, oh, you shouldn't do that. It's not going to get you anywhere, or you're not going to get anything from it. But I'm glad I kind of stick to it, even those first couple of years. But what about you, man? How was that feeling? Have you had that feeling before? Feeling doubt?
Yep, I mean, dude, every musician has that, that's for sure. But yeah, like, for start, like I said way earlier, I started off in audio production. I'm glad I know this stuff, but again, like, me realizing I need to actually catch up on, like, music theory and training my ears and stuff, like, was important. And then later on down the line, you start learning that it's true. The music industry, like, on that side, like, all the business and stuff, it's kind of dying. So, like, I'm glad I know this, but it's really about, like, really trying to build up yourself now. And also, we've all had moments where it's like maybe we had that one really bad performance where it's like, I suck, and all that stuff. But then you just get back out there and you practice again. You keep getting better, but also remember, like, one thing I remember from, like, this really bad, like, time when I was just overthinking everything, and, like, like, as I was about to move on to, like, higher education in music, like, I had the discussion with a teacher, and he told me, like, remember that you're more than a guitarist, that you're more than a musician, that there's so much more to, like, every human being than, what their profession or talent is. So just keep that in mind, like, definitely, if you want to be virtuosic in music or whatever profession, then go for it. But you never know what comes in life, like, personally, like, I would love to stick to music, but who knows where I could end up, Here's a funny story. I have this friend, great piano player. We were both in community college, as music majors. So he ended up getting a job at Guitar Center, and then the next time I hear from him, he's working at SpaceX.
Damn.
Don't ask me, man. But that just goes to show you. You never know. Life could do a whole, like, 180, 360 more like it, and you never know. Like, I would love to stick to music, but like, know that there's more talents out there. Know that you have more to give out there, like video production, audio production, just whatever it is. Like, I would love to start off getting my foot in the door in music, but then we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. Not just being a musician, but being, like you said, I guess adaptable to whatever you're trying to go for. Yeah, well, I guess right now it's the podcast is concluding. Let's give the people your the name of your channel, man. Is it just your name, or?
Yeah. As of right now, I mean, hopefully later in the future I'll come up with something more creative. But as of right now, it's just Jesus Sanchez. It should be a picture of me playing guitar, black guitar, white shirt. I'm wearing my glasses. It should be there. The series that I'm doing where I talk about music and films is Cues and Daily, so check out that. I got a few videos there. And yeah, I hope to bring out more content. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here in my mind. I just have to put it out there,
Well, thank you everyone for listening, and thank you, Jesus, for coming in today. And stay tuned for next episode of this podcast. Thank you.
All right.